Key primaries are underway in New York, Utah, and Colorado, where Lauren Boebert is pushing pause on her multiple scandals to salvage her place in Congress. Last year, Boebert, who nearly lost in 2022, switched to a solidly Republican district on the opposite side of the state to boost her chances of staying in the House. Meanwhile, primary day in New York is coming to a close. Polls are open until 9 p.m. Eastern, and anyone who is in line by 9 will be allowed to cast their vote. So hurry up, New Yorkers, you still have time. All eyes are on the state's 16th congressional district, which covers parts of Westchester County and the Northeast Bronx. Representative Jamal Bowman is facing a well-funded challenge from Westchester County Executive George Latimer. It is the most expensive congressional primary in history, with almost $25 million raised and spent. It's also a bitter and divisive race, putting a spotlight on the Democratic Party's tensions around Gaza, as well as its divisions around race, wealth, and corporate greed.
I just feel like Bowman is just a little too aggressive. Like, I watch his rallies, I watch the way he's campaigned, and it's just always aggressiveness. I feel like when you're at a certain place in politics, you got to speak with a vocabulary that's deemed edible, like for all crowds. If it's kids, if it's old people, you got to speak with a vocabulary that's just like we can relate to. All the cursing, profanity, all the extraness, it's not needed because you're a man that's representing everyone.
I can tell that there's been a lot of money spent on this race. And it is important. It's very important, especially the Westchester County and the Northeast Bronx. We need money coming into the community to help the community out. We need housing, affordable housing. We need programs for the kids. We need summer programs, summer jobs.
Joining me now from Mount Vernon, New York, is NBC News correspondent Ali Vitale. Every time I hear Mount Vernon, I just want to say money earned in Mount Vernon. It's just a habit. Talk to me a little bit, Ali, about what you're hearing out there. What are you seeing? Is there energy that's visible for either candidate?
There's energy, but I have to say there's also a lot of reluctance. As I've been talking to voters out here, Joy, they are very much aware of the vitriol that has marked this race, and they're very much aware of the amount of eyeballs that are on this race, given the fact that $25 million have nearly been spent here on the airwaves. If you wanted to ignore this race, you basically cannot, because everywhere you go, every deli, every radio station is playing an ad that's either for or against Jamal Bowman or for or against George Latimer. It's an inescapable race, and that's why we're seeing people turn out. But I will say, as I've been standing out here today, and we've been out here since around 6:30 this morning, it has been a slow trickle. That's not to say there's not voters who aren't enthusiastic, but they're also pretty reluctant to share how they're voting because they know how tense it is and they don't want their neighbors to judge their choice. It is a really difficult one, and there's a lot of different dynamics at play.
Now, I know you've had a chance to talk to some people. I've been really enjoying all of your interviews. I know you've got some sound, so I'm going to throw that to you.
Well, we did get a chance to talk with Congressman Jamal Bowman about this, and I did speak with him and George Latimer over the weekend about what's governing this race. And I think what's so striking is that Bowman himself would point to AIPAC, would point to the stances that he's taken on things like Gaza as the reason that he has a challenger. His challenger says, though, that was only one of the reasons that he ultimately decided to get in this race. The other things that he pointed to were vulnerabilities that may explain why we're seeing the sheer amount of spending that we're seeing here in the first place. The fact that Bowman is one of the progressives that experts and operatives that I talked to, that you talked to, largely saw as vulnerable at the very start of this cycle. But I asked Bowman when I saw him here this evening, what the tension around this race has done to the community members who are voting in it, and why we're even seeing that reluctance when I'm just out here asking voters how they're voting and why. Listen to just a part of our conversation. Even as I've talked to voters, there are some who are like, I don't want to share who I voted for. I don't want my neighbors to know. It's gotten tense.
It's intense because AIPAC are bullies. AIPAC intimidates people. And my opponent has sided not just with AIPAC, but with Republican billionaires. And because he's been in office so long and because he's been county executive giving people jobs, people are afraid.
You hear Bowman there, again, turn the conversation back towards AIPAC, and it's something he did multiple times in our conversation. And look, we have to point out, AIPAC-aligned groups have spent over $14 million. They're responsible for the bulk of the cash that's been spent on the airwaves here. And most of those ads, although it's a group that is pro-Israel, most of those ads have actually been about the ways that Bowman has voted in Congress in ways that are divergent from the Biden administration. So it's not like those ads themselves are overtly focused on Israel and Gaza, but certainly that's an issue that voters themselves have surfaced here. I will add, there's one interesting piece of reporting that we've picked up in about the last hour or so, and it's the fact that while Latimer himself has said, hey, if I lose here, I'm not running for this seat anymore, Bowman himself was asked just in the last hour or so, will you agree not to run with the Working Families Party or stay on the ballot in some kind of way? And he just simply dodged the question and instead just said, we're going to win, which, of course, is the posture that candidates, you know this, take on election night, because optimism is the only way to get through it. But at the same time, it's something Latimer has made clear he's knocking down, and Bowman is very much not.
That is very interesting, because that was what I was going to actually ask you, is does this feel like a healable divide? Because it feels racial, it feels like regional in, you know, the Westchester folks versus the South Bronx folks. It's very different people, very different demographics. Does it feel like a healable rift as you're just talking to people?
I think actually the answer to that question is something that we've talked about in our reporting and our stories on this race overall, which is the fact that this feels in some ways like a 2016 redux. It's got different issues at play, but the fact that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are both key endorsers in this race on opposite sides just shows how long this rift within the Democratic Party has been going on, and the ways in which that divide after 2016 was healable. Okay, let's see if it's healable on a micro scale here in the 16th Congressional District of New York. But I think it's important to note, too, we're already starting to see seeds of doubt be sown, especially from members of the Justice Democrats who are trying to say, oh, well, Hakeem Jeffries and congressional leadership didn't do enough here, almost trying to breadcrumb a reason for Bowman's loss if he loses. These are the kind of things, Joy, that make divides really hard to heal.
Fascinating. Such a great reporter. NBC's Ali Vitale. We're so lucky to have you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn. MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.